Please welcome to the stage Kayla and Michael.
Thank you for joining us today. As Jana mentioned, I've been sharing my journey with baking online at Kayla Doshal. Be sure to follow me on TikTok and Instagram, where I've been doing some baking videos focusing on trends and popular flavors and trying to inspire bakers all over the world.
Everyone, check out this video Kayla made. It has over 1.3 million views.
Cheers to that. Okay, so first things first.
What?
To make the
What is this place? Where these taxi guys? I should have taken an Uber.
Carl, what are you doing here?
Well, I'm on a quest for sourdough. I'm on my way to LA, actually.
LA, you're a little off track. We're in Austin for Taste Tomorrow.
Don't worry, Carl. I'm so happy to see you. It's nice to see you.
Oh yeah, you worked in the sourdough library with Carl.
Yes, we did.
That's right. I helped Carl do the feeding sessions for the sourdoughs, and we helped celebrate World Bread Day by baking a fantastic bread. So, Carl, we just learned about your quest for sourdough. What brings you to the US?
Well, I was supposed to be in LA to meet Guy Frankel because I wanted to pick up his sourdough for the sourdough library.
Hey, Carl. I'm over here.
Guy!
Yeah, I wanted to taste tomorrow.
Oh my God, Guy, you are here.
I'm here.
Did you bring Sarah?
I brought Sarah, yeah.
Oh, Guy, come. Give me Sarah, please. Did you? Sarah is in there?
Sarah's in there.
Is the flour so I can feed her there?
Sarah's in there.
Well, I promise you, I will take good care of Sarah. She's number 127 in the sourdough library collection, and from now on, she's in good hands.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Guy Frankel. Whenever you need some nice baked products with Sarah, this is the guy.
Wow. All this talk of sourdough, I could really go for some right now.
Well, Michael, you are in luck. Being a mother, I'm always prepared, and I just happen to have some sourdough. So we have a multigrain sourdough that's made with upcycled flour. So let's give some to the audience, and let's all try it together.
Whoa.
Wow, awesome.
Coming around.
Well, this is perfect. Carl, can you walk us through, and the audience, how to properly taste the sourdough bread?
Well, I guess I can, because this is something we do very often. And maybe some of you in this room have already experienced bread and wine sessions or bread and beer sessions with us in the Center for Bread Flavor, or maybe even here in the US or in Mexico or in Canada. Tasting bread is not just eating bread. Tasting bread that's a whole protocol. Like when you go to a winery, they don't give you the wine to drink it. You have to look at the color. Well, we can do the same with bread. So you can look at this bread and give it a name. You can say what color is the top of the bread that you see? I need some volunteers. Who is? Danny, what is the color of the bread you see? Brown? I see a little bit of reddish. Maybe it's too dark for you in the room to see, but here on the stage, in the spotlight, it is a bit reddish. This is an exercise you can do when you have friends over or with your staff in order to train people on how to really evaluate bread. Once you have checked the color and you have a roll or a leaf or a baguette or a bun, you can open it, you can slice it, you can tear it apart, and then you can discover the color of the crumb, which often is very different than the crust. And then you have a look at the texture, and the texture can already tell a lot about the mouthfeel that this bread will have, the way you will have to chew on it, a bit like when you taste wine, that you have to swirl and look if you see tears in the glass. And then you can go to the more exciting part, and that's when you start smelling. You start smelling, and you can discover a whole range of different flavors, because we are all smelling the same, but depending on our backgrounds, we might identify them differently. Someone who can smell, who can say, it smells like yeast, for someone else it might smell like beer. Or fermentation. And you will notice that when you smell, do I see smellers? Are you smelling? When you smell, that the flavor between the crumb and the crust is different. When you have a bun or a baguette or a loaf and you squeeze it, it's like swirling with a glass and smelling it. And when you squeeze a bread, you unleash the full flavor of that bread. That's what you can do whenever you are with friends around the table in a restaurant, when you want to talk about bread and the amazing thing that bread is. But when it comes to the crust, you cannot squeeze a crust to unleash the flavor, but therefore we have a little trick. And I invite everyone to do that. It's just by, when you blow on the crust and you smell it, you will see that the flavor is getting more intense, and you will again discover different flavor components. Like in a crust, you discover flavor components like it's toasted, it's roasted, it's coffee, it's caramel, where in the crumb you can find fruity notes, you can find fermented notes, raisins, you can start describing sometimes buttery notes. And then last but not least, it's the eating itself. You can start with just a piece of crumb. You can take the full experience by just eating crumb and crust together, or the crust separately, and you will see that each time you will discover different flavors. So I have not tried this bread before, so I will taste it, and I will invite you to do the same if you haven't done that yet, which I guess some of you have certainly, because discipline is far away in this room. Bon appétit.
Well, thank you, Carl, for walking us through the tasting process. What's your opinion of this bread? Let me join you, 1 second.
Well, I believe, and I hope you agree with me, that this bread is not only delicious, but it's also capturing the latest trends in nutritious and healthy baking. And that's what we do at Purados. At Purados, we build further on these more than 250 generations of bakers who have baked before us to continue to create better breads. Our future of bread lies in its past strategy, is actually focusing on taste, texture, and health and well-being. Now, that is perfectly in line with consumers' expectations. And I think that you have to agree with me after what you have seen here the last 24 hours.
That's right. And if you want this trend-setting bread on your shelves, Prado's is here to help you every step of the way. But Carl, now that you have Guy's sourdough Sarah, what's next for you?
Well, I invite everyone in this room to register your sourdough if you have one at home, maybe your mother-in-law, your brother, your family, in your restaurant, whatever. If you have a sourdough, to register it on our website, thequestforsourdough.com, so that you can compare it to all these, well, more than 2,800 sourdoughs that have already been registered so far on the website.
Including my sourdough ollie dough, which you may have seen featured on TikTok.
That's true. And maybe one day,
Yeah.
maybe one day, it end up somewhere in the same fridge as Sarah from Guy. Maybe.
Oh no, Kayla.
What?
We forgot about the focaccia charcuterie board.
Oh my gosh,
Everyone's
you're
here to
right.
see.
And we're almost out of time. But if there's anything I've learned from my time on TikTok, is that nothing beats a good transition.
It looks amazing. And I propose we all raise a toast, not only to this delicious spread, but also because this year is a special year. This year, we celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Sourdough Library, okay? And what better way to celebrate than to share a moment together? So if you navigate to our Instagram accounts, you will see that in our stories, you will find a nice glass of champagne and a button to register, because there is more than just the celebration. On the 18th of October, live from within the library, we will have 6 live streams. We will start European time at 8:30 in the morning, and we will continue until 10 o'clock in the evening. That is like 3 o'clock in the afternoon here, a bit earlier in New York, and we will have a lot of special guests. So if you go to our accounts, no internet, yeah, that's because the AV asked me to switch off my connection. But you will find, anyone already found? What did you find? Is someone there already? Register online, and what else?
Some bubbly.
Some bubbles.
Bubbles.
Some bubbles. Some bubbles, and a reminder that will remind you the day, the 18th, that the live streams are ongoing, but there is also a link to the webpage where you can register to get an email, to be warned whenever the show is going on. So, let's raise a glass. Let's toast to the 10th anniversary of the Sourdough Library, virtual because it is a virtual event. Cheers!
Cheers!
Cheers.
So as you guys have seen through the past 2 days, social media is becoming more and more popular. It's going to be the go-to place where people go for inspiration. So let's continue our baking journey together online. We invite you to follow us on our social media as well.
Well, with all that being said, it was a pleasure to see you.
It was a pleasure to see you.
Of course.
And you.
And you.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.